When picking up your puppy, I will be sending home a bag of the food they've been eating, with enough to transition them to their new puppy food over the course of the next week or so. I always recommend buying a high-protein, small kibble food in the 26% to 28% protein range and the fat content in the 12% to 14% range. Read the bag labels and all information is there. I always recommend the Royal Canin Miniature Schnauzer puppy for their first year. Your puppy will come home already accustomed to free choice feeding, which means there is always food available to them in their bowl. This 100% avoids any issues related to food scarcity like scarfing their food so fast that you need special bowls to slow them down, which can also lead to many other GI-related problems or pancreatitis. They will not become overweight and they will thoroughly chew every bite.
After your puppy turns 1 year, you'll need to transition them to an adult dog food. Because your pet is not a working dog, sporting, agility, racing, etc., you'll need to change to a low-protein food, with no more than 20% protein and no more than 10% fat. I usually recommend a chicken and brown rice from Blue Buffalo, and yes, your dog should have grains. I recommend to start your puppy on baby carrots at 4 months. Carrots then replace treats by 1 year of age. An adult can have 5 to 7 per day. You can then add in fruits, vegetables, chicken, turkey and fish, no bones, as a supplement. At a year they can have 2 vegetables a day, fruit 3 times a week and the above meat 1 each day can be added. Refer to the poisonous food list, they can have all the vegetables that are not listed there.
Chicken flavor is usually a safe bet for puppies and are least likely to cause GI upset. Zooks and chicken flavor are a great training treat, especially for puppies. They're very small but for a puppy should still be broken up into fourths. The goal is for them to just be able to taste the treat as the reward, and not eat 10 whole treats and get sick or have diarrhea. Spot Farms is another great option. They have a much more intense flavor and can be a great option if you're needing more training motivation. They come in large strips which will need to be torn into smaller bites. After a year you should be okay to introduce things like freeze-dried beef liver treats. Dogs love them and they're healthy when given in moderation. Because they're a nutritional treat, too many can be dangerous, so just read the directions.
To avoid car sickness on your ride home with your puppy, hold your puppy on a towel in your lap in the front passenger seat, or in a bed crate in the front passenger seat, with the air conditioning on. They're just like people and this will avoid car sickness 90% of the time. You can safely give your puppy pet Pectolin if they get car sick and it will help settle their stomach. Do not set your puppy down anywhere until you get home. If you have a super long car ride, you can lay down some puppy pads in your trunk and try to encourage your puppy to go potty there. They will have only had 1 parvo vaccine and cannot be set on the ground under any circumstances.
It can be normal for puppies to not want to eat when they first arrive home. Just have a bowl of food and water available for them. If by the second day they're still not eating, you can soak some of their food in hot water, and then serve it while it's warm. This will usually get them to eat and also help with any dehydration. If your puppy isn't drinking, it could be the smell of chlorine in the water, or sometimes they don't like drinking out of stainless steel. You can troubleshoot the problem by trying either bottled water or a ceramic bowl to see if they will finally drink. If you are concerned at all with anything going on with your puppy, I'm just a quick text away. I recommend taking your puppy in for a health check within the first 5 days of bringing them home and take a stool sample with you. Your puppy won't need any vaccines in this appointment as it will only have been about a week since their first parvo vaccine. As a breeder and dog lover, I do not recommend keeping your pet in a crate while you are gone to work all day. It is not healthy for their mental well-being, or their muscle and joint development. I recommend leaving them in a laundry room or bathroom using a baby gate at the door, or setting up a little fenced-in pen area. You can leave them in there with potty pads, food, water, toys, a bed, etc. You can use double sticky tape under a potty pad so it doesn't become a toy. Leaving some music playing does help them with being left alone. I tell my Alexa to play whatever genre of music for 8 hours, because sometimes the music stops after an hour or so.
Never leave a puppy unattended on your furniture, bed or any high area as they can fall off and cause serious injury. Do not let your new puppy jump off these areas either. I recommend having stairs or a ramp with your puppy on the bed and furniture. Most beds are very tall and they can injure or break a leg even as an adult.
I only recommend using a crate for nighttime. If your puppy will end up sleeping on the bed eventually, I recommend to just start there and skip the crate altogether. That way they sleep and you sleep. I typically say no playing on the bed because then they will think bedtime is playtime. For new puppies sleeping on your bed, I recommend to place a towel under them and have your puppy in the middle of the bed, keep him away from the edge so they don't fall off. If you're worried about them falling off, you can put on their leash and short tie it to your wrist so if they wake up, it will wake you up. You may have to take your puppy out to go to the bathroom the first couple of nights and then they will get on your sleep schedule.
When I first take a puppy in my house, I place a collar and 6-foot leash on them and, even though they don't know how to walk on it yet, I just carry them with me throughout the house. This was more for me as I would get busy with something, lose track of the time since they had gone out and turn around and puppy would be gone. With them on the leash the puppy would cry letting me know they needed to go to the bathroom. Never tie a puppy up to something and leave them unattended. If your puppy will eventually sleep on a dog bed on the floor, I recommend the crate training for nighttime only. With crate training, your crate should be big enough for your puppy to stand up and turn around in. If your crate is larger than that, you will need to use a box to make it smaller. There are 2 methods to crate training.
First, you can have them in your room and take your puppy out once or twice during the night. Puppies will generally cry the first 3 nights, so you may not get any sleep. If you take your puppy out each time they cry, they will learn to cry louder and have a bigger fit until you come and get them. If you have children, you know these fits. Each time they get worse knowing that you will come and get them. Second, this is what I call tough love, for those who have to have their sleep. Take your crate and puppy and place them in a room away from yours, turn off the light and turn on a radio. This will help relax them. I leave them for about 5 to 6 hours. Be sure to always take your puppy outside to go to the bathroom before going in the crate. Remember, no toys, food, water, etc. in the crate, only a towel or blanket in case they go potty. Bedtime is bedtime. The first couple of mornings you may find an accident in the crate. Just wash or throw away the towel, hose out the crate and bathe your puppy if needed. Always completely blow dry your puppy so they don't get a chill. After your puppy is about 4 months old, you can transition to a dog bed. Something you can do to prevent them from wandering is to place a collar and leash on them and tie them to something they can't pull over. This way they will cry for you to take him out instead of them finding a place to go inside the house. Never tie them and leave them unattended.
First, I want to say if your puppy is failing at house training, it is human error, not puppy error. The bell method works extremely well. You can buy one at the pet store or make one. At the door going outside, hang a bell so it is by the floor and each time you take your puppy out, hit the bell. Within a few days your puppy will learn to hit the bell to let you know they need to go out. This has proven to work extremely well. I recommend the first 2 weeks after you bring your puppy home, set a timer for no longer than 20 to 30 minutes and take them out. You can extend this time as you learn your puppy's bathroom schedule. Use the same door and only one word for command, outside, potty, etc. Using sentences will just confuse your puppy. When your puppy is older, using a sentence is okay as they will hear the key word, outside, potty, etc. and know what you are talking about. The first 2 weeks are important in your potty training. You have to keep a close eye on your puppy while in the house. When you need a break, place your puppy in their own area. I like a laundry room, bathroom, exercise pen, etc. I never recommend a crate. Avoiding accidents will help your puppy learn faster. After 2 weeks you will only need to say your command word, potty, outside, etc. and their ears will perk up to go outside, or if you have done the bell training, they will have learned to hit the bell. Always reward your puppy when they do what you ask. Find a treat your puppy really likes and use the treat for going potty only. You may take your puppy out 3 times before they go to the bathroom and they only get the treat if they went potty. The goal is to have your puppy go outside and you will have made the connection with them. Do not give your puppy run of the house, they need to be supervised. At about 10 months you can try leaving your puppy in the house alone for a couple of hours and build from there. Leaving a radio or TV on when you are gone helps to soothe them so they relax.
I recommend that you deworm your puppy within the first week or have the vet deworm your puppy in their first appointment. You should deworm your puppy once a month until they are about a year old, then every 3 months after is a good preventative program. If you want good overall health, this is one of the most important healthcare items you need to stay ahead of. You can buy these over the counter. I usually recommend something like Sentry. It's a pork-flavored chewable pill that your puppy, dog will enjoy and look at it as a treat. If you use flea control, you only need the wormer for roundworm, most common worm, etc. The reason for the worming on a regular basis is that a worm-free puppy can go in your backyard and pick them up there. Worms are also not species-specific, which includes humans, so if you have young children, you really need to stay on the worming schedule with your puppy and adult dog. I always recommend using a pour-on for flea, tick, heartworm control. The way that flea pills kill the fleas can harm your dog in the same exact way. My favorite that I've used for years with no issues is called Revolution, or the generic brand which is Neovella. Either of which you can either get prescribed from your vet or you can order it from petsmegastore.au without a prescription. It comes from Australia, so shipping takes a couple weeks, but it's still the most cost-effective method. You can save a lot of dental cleaning bills if you start from the beginning. I don't recommend rawhide chew for the reason they can chew off a piece and swallow it, and the piece can become lodged and will not dissolve. I also don't recommend rope toys as the string is pulled off by your puppy and can become wrapped around a tooth and cause an infection without you knowing. The toys I do recommend have durable nylon ends that are long-lasting even for powerful and determined chewers. The softer center massages gums. This also keeps the teeth clean. If they were to chew off a piece, it is small enough to cycle through. With Nylabones, be sure to throw them away when they become small. I like any of the Nylabone style chews that have bumps or spikes on them.
I also use the large or extra large CET chews for my dogs. These are great for puppies and adult dogs. For the absolute best dental cleaning, you can also go to a butcher shop and buy beef bones. Don't use the ones at the store and don't cook them, they can splinter. Ask the butcher for bones from grass-fed beef, they are slow raised so the bones are stronger. For dogs under 10 pounds the beef ribs are good, over 10 pounds buy the beef knuckles. You can give them to your dog outside until they chew off the meat or scrape of the meat so you can have the chew in the house. These are amazing for their teeth. When the bones become small, then it's time to replace them.
At 4 months, your puppy is capable of being leash trained, knows to sit, lay down, shake, and roll over. Each should be done one at a time because trying to teach all at one time is too much for a puppy. Always use one-word commands for training, they learn much faster. After your puppy understands each command, then you can move on to the next one. Also, when teaching a new command, stop as soon as your puppy does what you are asking and continue tomorrow. You want to always end your training on a positive note because your puppy will remember the ending at the next training lesson. Training only takes about 10 minutes a day.
I recommend a dog obedience class at 6 months. Your puppy is still susceptible to diseases as their immunity is not all the way built up until about 6 months. Make sure your puppy has all their shots, they are so important. At 6 months, check with your local pet store for a puppy class. Obedience training is not for your puppy, but for you. They teach you how and when to correct. If you are not getting the results you want, then go to a private trainer. If you send them for the training, make sure that they give you lessons with your puppy so you can continue with the training. If you don't, you will confuse your puppy and they will revert back to the problems in the past.
My best advice when I send a puppy home: never let a puppy do anything you don't want them to do as an adult. Barking, jumping on you, chasing the kids, biting you and the kids, can start aggressive behavior. As a puppy, distraction is all you need. I usually clap my hands, never seem to have anything else handy at the time. This causes them to look and you can call them over, give them a toy, etc. And you have already changed the behavior. Correction has to be done at the point it begins. With training, timing is everything. You can clap your hands, squeak a toy, use a clicker, training tool, etc. All you are doing is getting their attention, then call them over and praise them. If you find they are not listening to you, use a retractable leash and sit and wait for the behavior to start and correct. Just as you see the body language of the behavior begin. You can use a strong no also. Once they stop, reward them with praise. Training as a puppy is so easy, but as an adult, retraining takes so much more time. I also do not allow growling, dominance at the food bowl, or mounting each other to show dominance. Even as a puppy, this behavior is not acceptable. These are dominance issues and you are allowing your puppy to become alpha over you and other animals in the house. When your puppy is out of control, it is not the puppy, your puppy is just getting away with what you allow. Your puppy needs a series of 3 parvo vaccines starting by 8 weeks of age. In giving the shots, the first shot does not give immunity and neither does the second shot. The third shot really is when the immunity starts to build. What I recommend is to isolate your puppy to being on the ground only in your backyard, if you lived there more than 3 years and no sick dog was in your yard and house. Your front yard is dangerous for your puppy as all dogs have access. Up to 4 months old, if your puppy picks up something like parvo from the ground, they may not survive and the cost, regardless of whether your puppy survives or not, will be up to $5,000. You can carry your puppy anywhere you want to go so you can still socialize, you just can't put them on the ground. Take them for car rides as well. This is where it is nice to have them trained to use a potty pad.
Between the 4 to 6 months range, I still recommend to avoid your front yard, dog parks, rest stops and any place there is a lot of dog activity. Your puppy, even though they have had all their shots, may not have enough immunity and may be sick enough to have to go to the vet and rehydrate, again a cost of up to $1,000 depending on emergency vet and if an overnight stay is required. When you go to your vet, be sure to know the dates of your previous shots so the vet does not give one before needed. Vets make mistakes too, so pay attention to the dates. A puppy can become very ill or worse. When you are giving the Bordetella vaccination, kennel cough, be sure to do this in between the 9-in-1 shot as it has a parvo included and your puppy can become ill. I also recommend the vaccination over the intranasal spray as the spray is a live virus and can infect other puppies or dogs they are around.
Your puppy needs their 3 puppy vaccines: Bordetella, kennel cough, rabies vaccine, and then their 1-year vaccination. Beyond that, you can check with your county to see if they accept titer testing in place of their yearly vaccinations. We severely over-vaccinate our pets without verifying if they even need it. The titer test is a blood test that will check your dog's immunity to everything they're vaccinating for, and most groomers and daycares will accept that in place of a yearly vaccine, and then your pet is covered for another 3 years before needing another test to check immunity again. Any vet should be able to do this. They generally don't recommend it because they make less money in the end.
I very strongly urge you to consider the safety of your dog while they're in the car on car rides. Without some sort of seatbelt, your dog will very likely be hurt in the event of even a small fender bender. The best way I've found to keep your dog safe in the car is to have them in a harness attached to a seatbelt leash. The chances of your dog walking away from a car accident unharmed is much higher when they're secured to a harness as opposed to a collar. In the event of a rollover car accident, a dog can safely hang from a harness. I know this has been a lot of information to take in, but that's why I wanted to put it in video format, so you can easily re-access it at any time. If you ever have any questions about any of your dogs, I am always a quick text away.